All right, welcome back to our second video on simplifying your expressions using the basic Pythagorean theorem in Trig, okay? And that's written in different forms. So this one is easy to simplify. Go ahead and multiply the top out. That should be easy to multiply because you got a difference of square. So that came from a plus b times a minus b. So that's in that form, a is being your secant and b being your ones. So when you multiply them out, the middle term cancel. So it's just going to be like that. Okay? Now if you don't remember that, just multiply it out by foiling. So this would be sine square, or secant square, I'm sorry. Secant square theta. The middle term cancel out, then you got a minus, then you get the last term square, which is 1. That's over sine square. Now, if you remember one of those things about the trig functions, now let's say if you don't remember, I don't remember sometimes. You got cosine square plus sine square equals 1. Now, if you want the secant, what do? Well, you got to take 1 divided by cosine square because you want the secant. Being square, you got a square. So now you got secant square popping up on this side. What you want to see is how can I move this ball further, right? So now that means you got to divide everything by cosine square on that side. So that becomes a 1. We did that little thing in the first video for 5.1. Now sine over cosine is called tangent. Right? Sine square over cosine square is tangent square. I forgot to write the theta, but that's no big deal. So now let's see what I got. Well, this is plus. Then if you subtract 1 here, notice this here is going to match with that. So what you're doing is you're about to translate or change secant square minus 1 to a tangent square. So I'm going to write in the next line here. Okay. I got the ad popping up on the video there. I just want the noise. So that will be tangent square theta over sine square theta. I keep losing my theta there. There's a square. Okay, so now you're going to simplify that. So how would you simplify that last piece? Well, you can think of it as that's a tangent square of a theta. Now you're going to move the sine out sideways this way. See the sine square that sits right here? Right, it's supposed to be a sine square here. I can move the sine square slightly on that side. Why am I doing that? I'm going to trade out my tangent. So let me erase all this little mess here, because I figure I'm going to need more room here at the end. So, okay, this is like painting on the wall. So now that would be 1 on top. Okay. Now tangent means sine over cosine. So I'm going to come back. That's how I got my tangent in the first place. So sine square over cosine square of the theta. So that's your tangent, okay? So let me take a different color and highlight it for you. So that's that tangent. Now the next piece is your time 1 over sine square. See how nice that goes? So now your sine square cancel. At the end, you got 1 over cosine square, right? 1 over cosine square is secant square. So that's the answer. That's a simplified form that they want. All right, so I'm going to stop this video here, and I'll bring up the next one. You can pause, rewind anytime you want. I'll do another one after this.